貴様から全てを取り戻す。
Kazuya Mishima, one of the most intimidating martial artists in all of fighting game history. The man holds many titles under his belt, such as the leader of the G Corporation, Master Martial Artist, Champion of the Iron Fist Tournament, and Master of the Devil Gene. Kazuya truly is an icon in the industry and easily one of the strongest characters in his verse. Pretty much everyone else from his verse is pretty fodder in comparison to him, with a handful exceptions. Kazuya is a very gifted fighter as he learned and mastered one of the most complex fighting styles on the earth, being the Mishima Zaibatsu style. Aside from this fighting style, he also has other amazing abilities such as electricity, possible soul absorption, as seen when he was going to use it against Jin to get his soul back from the Devil Gene, and the ability to use telekinesis in his base Devil Gene state. More on that later. Now let's look at what most people actually care about, and that's how much can Kazuya destroy. Well, it depends significantly on what you consider canon. You see, there's an ending in one of the Tekken games, I believe it's one of the tag tournament games, but I do find it interesting because it means the writers state that this character can kind of perform this feat, even though it didn't happen. I would like to think it's still possible because they decided to add that in one of the endings. I'm not debating so much that it's canon, since it's pretty clear it's not. I'm debating so much if the character can actually do it, since the writers kind of put that there, so I find it interesting. Now, whether you think he can or cannot, that's gonna vary heavily on this video. So let's go with the fact that if they can. The feat I'm talking about, of course, is the feat from Jack in Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Of course, he destroys a meteor, a pretty large one coming at a rapid pace. These are kind of the same Jacks that Heihachi constantly bullies and eats attacks from. You know, the bunch of Jacks that him and Kazuya just bodied one after another. The same Heihachi that Kazuya scales to in even base form. To further prove this point, he later battles and scales to Akuma, who is capable of doing this. So, there you go. And Akuma is canon to the story now. Heihachi was also able to face him and take multiple attacks from Akuma, albeit he lost, but that was before he used his final form, but that's irrelevant to Kazuya, really. What isn't irrelevant to Kazuya is that he's able to face Akuma after being severely weakened by his father, who was very close to him in power, able to knock him out of his second Devil Gene state, and Kazuya still had enough stamina to transform again and fight Akuma after. Of course, the outcome of that battle is unknown, but if Akuma's not in the next game, then I'm gonna imagine Kazuya won that battle. So now that we got destructive power out of the way, we can jump more into lifting strength, and well, Kazuya's way stronger than a guy named Raven from the series, and Raven is able to just toss around this 40 plus ton mech around, so Kazuya's stronger than that in his base form. So, now that we know that Kazuya can dish out a lot, let's look into how much can Kazuya take, because of course, AP and durability, they go somewhat hand in hand, but not all that much. So let's take a look at some of Kazuya's durability feats. First, he's stronger than Heihachi's base, who can take an explosion from one of Jack's to the face. This ginormous explosion. I've seen people calculate this to be city, continental, island. I'm not going to get into all that because I can't do the calc. I'm not able to tell for what I see. It's just a giant explosion. Regardless, though, he did just take a bomb to the face, so I would say that's still pretty impressive. If one of you guys can find the calculations for this explosion and leave it in the comment section below, that'd be super awesome. I'd appreciate that a ton. There is another durability feat that's a lot more concrete, and it's the one where he survives, of course, the eruption of a volcano. Baby stuff, really. And it makes sense because Akuma also did this when battling Oro. Lastly, we'll look at Kazuya's speed. Well, we know in base he's fast enough to generate lightning and dodge lightning-based attacks, as he's fought guys like Jin who could, well, generate lightning. But what's more impressive is that he's able to fire a laser. These lasers, of course, are calculated to be moving at a relativistic speed, which is very great, but keep in mind he can use these lasers in just his base form. So let's use everyone's favorite thing ever, and that is power scaling. Now, I'm not going to bring up power levels or anything like that because that's not what Tekken is, and I don't want to get into specifics either, so we're going to try lowballing a lot of this, but I just want to get a idea of how much stronger Kazuya is in his second Devil Jin state to the first Devil Jin state, or the base form, or even the Jack. We'll start there. So we'll just say Jack is a 1, just for simplicity's sake, and Heihachi at minimum should be between a 2 and a 4 since he's able to one-shot these guys and fight tons of them, so we'll just meet around the middle and say he's a 3. I don't think it's that difficult to believe Heihachi's 3 times stronger than the Jacks. Jin Kazama, who is Kazuya's son, would be a 6 due to being able to body both Heihachi and Kazuya at the same time. Assuming Heihachi and Kazuya are equal, 3-3, we'll just say Jin's a 6 because he was able to beat them both. All who were in base, keep in mind. Now what gets weird is that Kazuya moves from a 3 to a 5 or 6, as in Blood Vengeance, which again is not canon, but I'm trying to use everything as possible. It's kind of a base idea to get how strong these guys are. Kazuya should be around the 5 or a 6, since he's able to compete with Jin's new base form, or at least the base form that defeated Heihachi and Kazuya. From this point, we can just say Devil Jin is a 2 times multiplier to Jin. We're not too sure how much stronger the Devil Jin makes you, but I don't think 2 times is a stretch. It'd be weird if it was just like a 50% amp, so we're just going to go from a 6 to a 12. What we can say is a 50% increase is kind of that weird, uncontrollable Devil Jin that Jin uses in Blood Vengeance when Kazuya is bullying him. So we'll just say that's a 50% increase, being a 18. Finally is the true Devil Jin, the one Kazuya used in the same movie. Now, this one's weird because we don't know how much stronger this is. If it's like maybe 50% of that, then, well, you could just do a 50% increase of 18, and there you go. However, Jin gets the new ascended kind of controlled Devil Jin, which is way stronger also. It's 2 times that. But I'm going to ignore all that because I'm trying to suppress this and lowball it as much as possible. Let's just assume Kazuya's new Devil Jin in Tekken 7 is as strong as the Jin Devil Jin from Blood Vengeance. We'll just say that's 2 times the uncontrollable one, and we'll just say it's 36. Now, being that relativistic, something he can do in his base form is, well, 10% of the speed of light, then you could imagine what that means if he's 36 times that. So yeah, he's basically moving at light speeds. That's kind of my thing for Kazuya, kind of my analysis on how powerful Kazuya is. Kazuya's done some other things like kick a motorcycle in half and punch Jin. Well, not even punch Jin. They both missed and destroyed an entire building, shattered all the glass on the entire building. Kazuya's kind of just an absolute unit. Now, there's a lot of contention whether Akuma is Shin Akuma or base Akuma in Tekken 7. It's kind of irrelevant because Akuma does have a lot of the same kind of feats. I would say he's more in the Shin Akuma realm if you believe Jack's feat is true. If not, then maybe you could argue it's base Akuma. He's island level, that makes sense. But if the Jack feat is kind of like indicative of the series, then fine, you could say it's Shin Akuma who has destroyed a meteor also, and Kazuya would scale logically. So there you go, kind of a short video to get this out. Now, I have heard the whole Azazel or Azazel or whatever, however you pronounce his name, that he was going to destroy the world. So some people have calculated that to be planetary or universal or whatever. I've heard all types of arguments for that. But the thing is, we can't really scale Azazel directly from Kazuya since Azazel's full power was never in the show. I mean, in the games. Jin does get to fight it, but we haven't seen Jin really fight anyone after Tekken 6, so it's hard to use, and the world can mean anything. I would say it's more multi-continental. That'd be a logical way to use world because it's all the people dying, which is still very impressive and does make sense with the rest of the cast destroying ginormous meteors that can wipe out cities or continents. So there you go. That's how powerful Kazuya is. Thank you guys so much for watching. A bit of a short video, kinda, not really, but thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Please stay tuned for more content. I'm bringing more Tekken content. I'm bringing more Street Fighter content, Naruto content, Dragon Ball content, all that lovely stuff. So if you guys want to stick around for more, subscribe and check out my social media platforms. I try to talk to you guys as much as possible and answer every single comment. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys on the next video.